Hi everybody, it's Connie, and today is Wednesday. It's 2 o'clock, and so, gosh, I have a couple of announcements. First of all, I want to talk about the Stampin' Up special. You know, that free shipping deal that they came up with all at once. They had problems with their system yesterday, and a lot of people were unable to order, and so they went ahead and extended that through today. So there is free shipping all day today, for especially a great deal for people who are trying to get bonus coupons for next month. Hi Sally, hi Christy. Anybody who spends $50 is going to get a $5 coupon. People who ordered from me, I gave away a lot of my coupons to my customers, so you may receive a few from me. Please use them, otherwise it's just thrown away money. And if you don't want to use them, flip them back to me. I'll give them to somebody else, whatever. The other thing is, today is like a preview day for the September through December mini catalog, and it's a preview day for demonstrators, and it will not have the scrapbooking stuff in it yet because they have been mad dash scrambling to try to put together their scrapbooking program and get everything in stock and ready to go. And my understanding is when they create things like the catalogs and that kind of stuff, they work a year in advance. And so this working only like 6 months is like making them like freak out. So I'm not exactly sure when the scrapbooking items will be shown, but when they are, I will definitely be showing them to you. I think that my understanding is in the little mini catalog, the scrapbooking workshop will coordinate with the papers that are in there. So I'm definitely going to show you guys that. And I'm not really, I mean, it's early because it doesn't go live until September. So sometime in early August, I'll show it to you so that you can see what's coming and you can make your own decisions on that. Okay. So first, before I start my little project today, I want to show you this. So, you know, last week I did that page. Let me see if I can expand this a little bit so you can see it better. I'm moving my camera around. Yeah, that works out a little better. Okay, so remember the page that has the 4 stripes, basically, and then the big block on the right-hand side? Well, I went ahead and put my baby shower photos on, and I added some embellishments using the die cuts from the Secret Garden. And those are pretty fun, you guys. These die cuts are, they layer, so like this and this and this all like layer on top of each other, and this right here cuts a little slit, so this slides into it right here. I don't know if you can, oh, let's see if you can kind of see on this one. So this is like that front one, and it tucks into that petal right there. I think that's really, really cool. And I just used a little bit of ink on some of them to add a little of that blushy pink color. The color in the paper pack is actually peach, but it looks pink to me, and so I used pink with it. And it's not very often I use pink, so I wanted to take full advantage. Anyway, so this is kind of, look how beautiful this turned out. Look at these cool flowers and stuff that come with that. That's my daughter. That's my niece. And she is now the grandmother of my great niece who is having a baby. That makes me feel very old. She does not look like a grandmother to me. But anyway, so Luna is here. She is gorgeous. And this is my baby page. Now, the issue that I had, yeah, they're available, Sally. They're still online on the Stampin' Up site. So my problem with these is that the creative design team who is online, if you follow YouTube at all, there's about 7 or 8 close to my heart makers who got together, and they have a theme every month, and they do their theme every month, and they're doing Christmas in July. But a couple of them have started showing this paper pack, and almost every time they start showing something, it sells out because they have so many followers on YouTube. And so, you know, I'm showing this stuff thinking it's safe because it's flowers. We don't all love flowers. We don't all want more flowers. And so it's available. But now that it's being shown by the creative design team, and look how gorgeous it really is. It is really pretty. That I don't know. I don't know if it'll sell out or not. No, I think it's maybe. But I was on there yesterday because I was looking at the free shipping items, and I swear I saw it yesterday. But they were having so many problems. Maybe that it was there and it wasn't really. I don't know. They were having lots of problems yesterday. Anyway, so my problem was I had 4 extra photos to go on this page. I didn't want to use flip-flaps. I've been using a lot of flip-flaps. But I didn't want to make a single page layout to go with it. I already have one page that only has 1 photo. So this is what I did. I used the extension paper page protector that holds 3 4x4s, and so I put a picture of Steve and his mother here, and me and my niece here, and then this is the grandmother of the baby, sister-in-law, and our nephew, with Steve and our nephew. So I had those 4 pictures. I wanted to use them, but so I've added this, and it will go in my book like right here. And I'm not sure if it'll mess up my, my theme I got going or not. So now, Sally, I know the gnome stuff seems to be gone. So, but yesterday the flowers were here. Today I'll look after I get done here because I want to look at that preview anyway. It starts at 2 o'clock our time, of course. So, today I want to use the Lake Life. I want to do the Lake Life workshop and show you some alternatives for that because I really love it. And you remember I did this page during one of my lives, and I turned it into a barbecue page. Well, I went ahead and put my photos on. This is just more about the story of Steve loving to grill with his little blue Weber grill. And so I just had a few pictures, and I have the story, and I have more journaling to put down here, but I think this page turned out really cute. You would never know that was Lake Life. I just put it on a different color background, but look, here's the mesh, here's the lake word paper, here's the print. These are all Lake Life papers. So I think that's really fun. I just got out my grill stuff. And then I just wanted to remind you that this is another one that I put together that I thought was really, really cute for using some of those Lake Life papers. It's that same kind of theme of the 1x3 strips across the bottom. You remember that one? And then I did the Disney one with the lake, and I looked for my photos and they're buried. I need to dig them out. for this. I was going to have the photos all put together on here for you because it's a really cool electric parade, and all the pictures would look really nice on here. I can't wait to do that. I just have to dig out the pictures. I'll do that soon. So the workshop, this is the workshop, and basically it has 3 2-page layouts, right? So this one right here is very lakey. This one has a specialty fish background, and then the little flags. It uses the sticker sheet. It's a great layout. I love the style of it. I like, you know, like if I did a sketch, it would look great with anything. But that fish paper, not so sure about that. And then this one right here, Lake Days, just has 4 strips. They're like 2 by 11. And then a whole bunch of hexagons. And the truth is, it doesn't look very lake-like if you didn't have that title. I think I can make that anything I want it to be. And then this one says decks, docks, and flip-flops. And I thought, you know, I don't think that has to be lake themed either, to be honest. Because it could be you at the pool, it could be at the, you know, any water, it could just be on your back deck. And so this is kind of what I'm thinking, is maybe changing up the decoration a little bit. I went through and I cut pieces with the different pages in mind. And I just want to kind of go through a few things with you. So this is that first page. Let me just show you this one right here with the fish. Let me scoot this over and put this here. All right, so one of the things that I thought, here's all the little punch outs for this page, but I just want to kind of show you what I did. I might do a little differently. So this color in the background is Seabrook, which is a really, really pale, light blue-green. And it looks really nice with that. This is not toffee, but it could be. This is khaki. It's just, you know, khaki paper. I have a big stash of it, and I like to use it whenever I do outdoor photos. And I didn't want to use this mesh print because it does make it look a little more lake looking. And so I flipped it over to put this plaid. So I just flipped. Then instead of the fish paper, I flipped it over because this green is really a nice, it looks great on here, but you don't have to, like when you read it, it just says splash, like you can't make out all the words. Splash, you can make out sun, relax. There is fishing buddy over here, but honestly, doesn't show very much. And when you, and I could flip it around and this will be covered because you can see I'm not going to use this Fresh Air and Sunshine sticker. I'm going to use a different title for it. The other thing I thought is, how cool would this look if we flipped it out for harbor paper? Because harbor makes it even more masculine looking. And, you know, honestly, I just think this whole page looks really, it looks really neat. So this kind of goes here and here. This goes on page 2. I'm going to flip that over to page 2. There's a couple of big, I don't remember which one is it? Oh, there's like a little, there's like a little tab that goes like this. And then I thought for the little flags under the photo mats, I could use either like a dark, I want to use like a dark green photo like that. I could use more of the khaki, or even another piece of this green to go over the top there, the top and the bottom. You see how that has like a top and a bottom? And that would be that page. I just think that page looks really, really cool. Just like that. I really love the idea of changing up the color. See how that, I have a bunch of pictures of my father doing woodworking and just around the house and stuff. And this plaid, this is a plaid that he wears all the time. So I was like, okay, this is really nice. And I like the harbor color, and this is nice, but I like the harbor color. So let's talk about the second page. Let me just pull it in. So page 2 has, I got all this stuff here. Hold on. Let me just dump this off. Okay. So page 2 has this mesh at the bottom, and then you can barely see it, but there's a little stripe in there of that fish paper and a little stripe in there of that like a Seabrook style, I think it's glacier paper. And so what I was thinking was, what, like it looks like this kind of, only on the fish background, which I'm not going to use. Let me show you the fish background. If anybody wants the fish background, it is up for grabs, because I think I'm not going to end up using it. But I flipped this over and flipped this over to kind of make that coordinate with the first page a little better. Let's see. And then I'm going to put, instead of that fish paper, I will put a little bit of the khaki in between like that. I think that'll look really nice. And then we have our decorations, right? So we have the photo mats, which I switched to pine instead of a light color. And you know, this goes on the top. Before I do that, let me just show you this on the harbor. Like if I switch both pages out for harbor, look at that. This is great. I'm pretty happy with switching this out with a darker background. I think I really like how this looks a lot. And then this goes here. At the bottom, we have some, right along this line, there are some pennants that come with the kit. And these are just little journaling strips. And this goes over on the first page. So what do you think of that? You like that idea? I like the idea of flipping this to a harbor finish instead of the Seabrook finish. And I think it gives it just more pop. I don't know. It's just something to think about, because all of the colors that come in this kit are greens and blues, and with the toffee. And so anything that goes with that green and blue and toffee is gonna work. And this is just basically a super dark blue. So for Stampin' Up people, it's close to Night of Navy. And then you could even use the paprika color kind of like I used on the, let me just grab it, kind of like I used on the cookout page. Do you see how that really changes the way that workshop comes together? Look at that. That looks great. It just kind of depends on what your photos go with, you know. The other thought is you could switch the background to that pine green. I should have pulled that out before I started. But if you flipped this, you know, background to the pine green and then use photo mats in the color of the Seabrook, that would look really nice. Even white photo mats on there would look really good. So that's my plan for the first layout. Let me just pull these out so I can show you on the other layouts the different colors. All right, so there's layout number 1. Layout number 2 is kind of interesting. It starts with, again, Seabrook on the darkest side, which is the true color of Seabrook. And then it has this overlay. Sorry, my fingernails are not picking anything up right now. So it has this overlay that had punch outs in it. That was a specialty thing that came in this kit. And it goes on top like that. Let me get the picture to show you. And then you can see that there are different hexagons that go behind. So this one is this square, or this square goes in here like this. I'll show you how it's supposed to look. And then this would be photo, photo, and then this one would go over here. And the plaid would go over here. Okay, and then you would have your photos here, here, and here, with the center being your title. Okay, so that's what that is supposed to look like, and I'm okay with it. But you know, when you start messing around with it a little bit and changing up the background color, it changes the look of it, and you might like it more, you might like it less, I don't know. This one I wasn't sure would work because of the dark green. See how the dark green goes on there, and then it kind of loses, you kind of lose your dark green in there. But it does give you a different look. Right? And then on the other page, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'd stick with the light color. On the other page, it is basically stripes. And they have used the plaid. I kept these 12 inches long. They're supposed to be 11, and that way there's space at the top and the bottom. But I kept them 12 because I wasn't totally sure what I was going to do with these yet. So we have this word print, we have this fish print, and then on the other side we have this print. And I do not know why I cut this. I can't remember why I cut this one. But I'll figure it out in a minute. Anyway, so this is basically, I think I was like, oh, you could totally like replace one with something green. I don't know. I just kind of thought it it could have a different look. I kind of like that. And then over here you have a couple of photos, and then you have hexagons that are decorative over here. So I'm not going to put this one together because I'm still on the fence about how I want it to look. And one thing that I do want to show you though is that the punch outs that come with it can slide behind, and also be a guide for cutting your pictures if you want to cut them to be exact. I would probably just cut them as a rectangle and slide them behind, but you could use this as like your template for your photo so that it'll fit perfectly in there. And then there's little, see how there's punch outs in between? That would just be something you would get rid of then. And it came with some little lake theme hexagons. So this one, I'm on the fence. I have an idea for how I want to use it, but I haven't decided completely. So this one I'm putting aside. And I'll show you at some point what I end up doing with that, because I'm not sure yet. Okay, let's talk about the third one. Okay, so the third one is the one I really wanted to put together today. And it's that Decks, Docks, and Flip-Flops one. Let me just, yeah, there we go. There's the close-up photo. I really like how it looks. I wish it wasn't front and back, so, but I really love how that looks so much. And I really think that this is one that, again, could go on a different color of cardstock. So if you are like me and you don't love this one could go on the fish. I think that was sort of my thought, is that Decks, Docks, and Flip-Flops, I could put this one on the fish background. I think I would like it better. If you don't want the fish, if you're like me, I don't want the fish. I would just use a solid around like they did. They used a Seabrook cardstock base like this, but I like the darker. So I'm going to flip this out with just a piece of pine, take the fish away. And this one, the fish doesn't show very much. So, we'll see. Okay, so it came with a base, it came with this specialty paper that's kind of speckled. And so this is your workshop special. You know, close to my heart when they do their workshops, they always have at least one specialty paper that's in each pack that's kind of custom. I don't know. I feel like the sorry, I was looking for my paper. I think that Stampin' Up has a different idea of what workshops should look like, and they're more like bundles in their minds. So I have a feeling their workshops will be more like you can buy it by the part and piece, or you can buy it as a workshop kit where you get everything. I think that's more along the lines of how they think of workshops. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with when they can pull it all together. It's hard. I know they're having trouble pulling that all together. Okay, so I cut a long piece, and it came with this piece as part of the punch outs. And part of the thing that you do for this one is angle the bottom cut, kind of like this one, so that you can layer it. And so what I like to do, the lazy part of me, you could pinch it in half like this, and find the half mark and then just cut it from one end to the outside. Or you can be like me and line this up like this, and then just use your scissors from the center. Just kind of use it as your guide like that, because then you know the angles are the same, just like that. And then there is a piece that goes right down here in the plaid, and I like the plaid side better than this side, so I'm going to use the plaid. And I think I'm going to flip it this way, not that it really matters that much. And then we can put these in place. So this goes from here to here. Now, I left mine longer than what it called for because I wasn't sure how long I would want this to be, and I wanted to be able to cut it however I wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple inches off of here and try that out. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay. Sometimes, the beauty of the workshops, honestly, is that you can do it exactly identical to the way that they do it. Or you can make it your own way. You can do what you want. You can take all the little parts and pieces that they send you and do something totally different. And it's nice to have that option. Just like that. Okay. And then all that's really left is the decoration and the photo mats. Now, I may or may not have 3 photos for this page, and I may have 2 4x6 photos, so I did not cut photo mats for it yet. But I can lay out the pieces on here, you know, where they go, so that because I'll still have room for my photos, even with the little pieces and parts there. The other thing that they did right here is they used ink, a little bit of the Distress ink in Speckled Egg, and they used their blending brush over that to give it a little more color through here. And so we'll see if I do that. I don't know, I might. And then there's a couple of punch out hearts here, and then I'll show you where the other hearts are in just a second. Let's work on the second page. So I really need just a bigger space. That's just what it is. I need a bigger, wider surface is what I need. Okay, so again, I'm not in love with this fish, okay? I'm just not. I don't know why. I don't like it very much, but I don't. So I could make my pages identical to green pages, or I could use the Seabrook that they called for and have one be dark and one be light. They're still gonna have that kind of mirrored look, but I do think I like the ponderosa, the pine color. So I'm gonna grab a sheet of that. I have all of my cardstock lined up right behind me, just in case you're wondering why I can pull sheets so quickly. I have like a big, one of those IKEA units. Okay, I should show you that page close up again. So page 2. It's about to storm here. I keep hearing thunder. Okay, that was not very smart. Just a sec. brother. Not very smart. Okay, flip this over. There we go. So this page has a top and a bottom just like the other page. Once you put adhesive on, boy, you need to just stick it down when you're supposed to. That would help. All right, so let me just put that down. So I'm making a mess. All right, and then we have, again, our specialty paper at the top. This came with the workshop. I love the Lake Life picture, or the Lake Life papers, but I gotta tell you, the workshop papers are amazing. I just don't necessarily do much with the lake, so. Firewatch, ugh, man, that is horrible. You know, we're getting a haze already from the wildfires out there, which is just incredible to me that they're so severe that we're getting the smoke from the wildfires. Okay, yeah, the air quality here last year got really bad a few days after the fire started. Annette, do you remember that? It was horrible. Anyway, these two squares are squares that were part of the cutting guide, and basically they go like this. This one kind of goes wonky and this one kind of goes straight, and you can kind of see on the photo how that works. All right, let me check one more thing. Hold on a minute. Oh yeah, okay. I had to grab something before I lost it. Last night, Steve and I, right now is the Champaign County Fair, and we don't usually go to the fair. I mean, honestly, it costs us the $8 a person to get in, so there's 16 before you even hit the door, right? And then it costs, we got a Pronto Pup and a lemon shake up to share, and that was $16. And then I just decided I wanted to eat my way through the midway, and it was like, I don't know how much we totally spent, but we shared an Italian beef type sandwich. We shared a one of those giant pretzels. What else? Oh, we got, what is that called? Not an elephant ear. What's the other one? With all the curly things on it. We got that, like the big donut thing. Gosh, what is wrong with my brain? And then, what else? I don't know. We probably spent easily $80 or $90. I mean, like, a lot. We spent a lot just going to the fair and eating crap. Funnel cake, thank you. Gosh, what is wrong with me? Yeah, and we brought a funnel cake home for our daughter because she had to work last night. And I like to play, remember the mouse game, where, I don't know if you guys ever remembered that, where it's a giant round thing with holes in it, and they would spin it and they would release a mouse, and the mouse would run into a hole. It was kind of like, I don't know, a gambly type game, but I used to play that all the time. I could sit there for hours and play that. And they got rid of that. And now the big game that I love is the one where you like drop the quarters and it like pushes and then things fall off the edge. Gosh, I love it. It's like a bulldozer or a whatever. Love that game. Played that stupid game for a while. I only bought $5 worth of tokens to play that, and I think I played it for over an hour because, you know, if you play it a lot, you get good at it. Everything is so expensive. And our state fair has more options for food than our county fair. And so I'm just thinking we probably will hit the state fair also this year, which, yeah. So this is that chipboard, paperboard stuff that Close to My Heart loves. And here's the little hearts that go on this side over here. So we'll put those in place. The fish and the lake days, that part goes onto that second one. And those little fish. And so I'm not gonna use those right now. And then this right here is the little grass that goes down here at the bottom. Now, one thing that they did was they used a little bit of ink and shaded this just a little bit. Just to add a little color. And you can use whatever color you want to do that. Like you could use a little bit of the pine or brown or whatever to shade it. Let me just grab my pine. It might be a little dark, but it'll go with my color. My dog is acting weird because it's thundering outside, you guys. I might have a dog on my lap here pretty soon. It's not that he's so afraid of rain, but he keeps thinking someone's here, and he's going to the windows to look out, and he's uneasy. Like, we have company, what's happening, you know. Okay. I don't know what it is about Wednesdays here and rain, but we always seem to have rain during my lives. Have you noticed that? Okay, we need the rain. So I'm just putting a little bit of green on it. I'm not going crazy. I could go crazy and put a lot, but I'm not going to. And I used this because I'm going to throw it away anyway. I use that as my thing. Okay, so this is just going to go on here. Now, the easiest way to apply this is with liquid glue because you can put your tape runner on the back or even a little bit of foam or something, but liquid glue works perfect for this. See? Just put a little bit on there, and then this goes here. And then you have your grass at the bottom. And then while I was yapping about the fair, I added this little thing, and this gets a little sponged ink on it also. And since only some of it pokes out, sometimes what I like to do is cut it off, and I like to use the other part for another layout or for another location, and just tuck it under a little. So I'm going to put that here. And then we have our 3 little hearts. Since my nails are not working good today, I'm just going to use my pickup tool. I love this thing. Just make sure they're a little bit straight. Yeah, close enough. All right, and then I tucked in these little tags. I'm gonna put that one there. The reason I don't always glue the tops down completely is because sometimes it's kind of nice to have it a little bit loose, especially if I'm gonna add something to it. Like if I'm gonna add, like maybe I'll tuck something else behind it, you know. So sometimes I like to leave my edges a little bit loose and dimensional. Okay, so there is page 2 and there is page 1, and you can see it's not super lakey. I really think this would be perfect for swimming pool pictures, my back deck pictures, and I just didn't cut the, I did not cut my mats out yet. It's kind of like if you know exactly what you're going to, if you have your photos right there and ready, then it makes sense to go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my hearts on. I was just looking to see on the picture where they go. That's the other thing about the instructions on the workshops, is that if you just buy it by the part and piece, you don't get the instruction sheet. And sometimes it's nice to have the cutting guide or instruction sheet. And I'll probably almost always buy the workshops for that reason, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what Stampin' Up! Does. Isn't that neat? I just love it. Now, the other thing is there are a few stickers on here. So it comes with photo holders, which I rarely use these unless it's an unmatted photo. But I keep them because they're white. Some of them are white on the back. So some of these will work great whether it's lake or not. Outdoors, day trip, make a splash, sunbathe, breathe, take a dip, memories. These little arrows, those will all work on anything. It doesn't have to be lake themed, or you can make it super lake themed. All right, so there is number 3. So I think I did pretty good with these 3. And I altered all of them to suit what I needed a little bit more, which, you know, I often do. All right. So there's my instructions. There's my pages. And I think that's all I have. So they're supposed to deliver my stove here in the next few minutes. We'll see if they show up. One of the things that they didn't tell us when we bought our appliances a million years ago, we bought them on Memorial Day, and they're just coming today. Can you believe that? But one thing they didn't tell us is when they deliver, they have like GPS tracking, and so you can tell exactly where they are. It went in town, and they tell you where you are on the list. It's so nice compared to the days when we used to like take the whole day off from work, sit around and wait, and you would be like the last person that they would come to, you know, that kind of thing. It's so annoying. So anyway, I hope you like what I showed today, and you know that I'm gonna look online and see if that floral kit is available still, because I think it is. I swear I saw it yesterday. But like I said, once the design team people start showing it, your time is limited with those because they sell out. And that one will be gone when it's sold out. That was thunder. Okay. All right. On that note, I'm going to go. And I hope I see you all later. We'll chat again on Friday. Bye-bye.